Hello and welcome to What's in this week's Oban Times with me, Jodie Hagan.
Me, Kathy Griffiths.
Me, Owen Wild.
Me, Sandy Neal.
And me, Megan Day.
We have lots of great stories for you to read in this week's paper and online at www.westcoasttoday.co.uk. We love hearing your stories and you can share them with us by emailing editor@obantimes.co.uk, calling us on 01631 568 000, or getting in touch on our social platforms including Facebook and X, formerly Twitter. The weekend was jam-packed in and around Oban, and the departure of the Clipper race yachts was a bittersweet moment after such an amazing week of festivities. Some race contenders will be sailing across the finish line at Portsmouth, looking particularly stylish though, after having braved the shave at last week's charity chop held at Coonmore Restaurant. Team PSP Logistics raised over £1,700 for UNICEF and the Little Princess charity with their haircutting event. Despite the wet weather, crowds also turned out in force for Oban Rotary Club's annual rubber duck race on Saturday. As a first-timer to the event, I was a bit taken aback by the fully grown Rotarians in duck suits wading through the burn, but it was a great afternoon of good fun and fundraising. Over to you, Kathy.
Well, we've been finding out that it could take 3 years and up to £500,000 to set up a kidney dialysis unit at Oban's Lawn and Islands Hospital, with annual running costs likely to be in the region of £290,000 a year. You can read more about this and the latest action from the Kidney Dialysis Oban campaign group. And it's definitely been showtime in our area. I spent a rainy but fun day at Lismore Show on Saturday. The judges were impressed, so everybody was happy. Great quality of livestock for such a small island. They really did sort of show up and they looked great. And I've got to give a lovely shout out to Burger Queen, Kiki McCall, whose barbecue skills were flipping great. Get it? Anyone out there? Flipping barbecue skills, burgers over the grill. There we go. Okay, I'll move on. So we've also got photos and a report in from Tyre Agricultural Show. And Made in Argyll knitter Joy Cameron has been sharing her sock making skills on the high seas. Thanks to Joy's help, a crewman on the Vietnam clipper Ha Long Bay, who was in town for the Round the World race, fulfilled a lifelong ambition and learnt to knit. It was on his bucket list apparently, and the pair have even made some tuition videos so he can carry on the new skill when he's out at sea. So there we go. So you can see that story, see the picture, and read lots more in this week's Oban Times and online. There we go.
Thanks, Kathy. And Owen, what stories have you been working on this week?
Well, what a busy week it's been. I got soaked down at Oban's RAF race in Oban Bay, but the race was hilarious as usual. And with the Clipper Races Festival of the Sea, there were plenty of other events too, like Autism on the Waters Open Day. Video of both of these is available on West Coast Today. An MSP is calling for reforms on childcare services in the Western Isles, after a survey found that only 15% of parents have access to adequate services. I spoke to a mother of 3 from Mull about her nightmare experience, which you can find in this week's paper. Finally, teenage biking starlet Ewan Sim of Tinault has his first win of the Trial GP World Championships. Congratulations to Ewan, who is currently second overall in the championship hunt.
Thanks, Owen. Over to you, Sandy.
Well, we have a winner for the Kintyre and the Isles by-election. Find out who and by how much in this week's Oban Times. 7 ferry routes in Argyll and Bute will benefit from new electric small ferries. Barra Islanders have launched an ambitious fundraising campaign to replace the statue of the saint who gives the island its name, as it is in danger of being lost to the sea. Records fell like the rain at Mull Highland Games, and in this week's Loch Arbor Times, attempts to salvage a fish farm boat which sank in the Sound of Mull failed at the weekend. And the Highlands is facing a stinking summer of bin strikes as unions reject a new pay offer.
Thanks, Sandy. And Megan, I hear you had a busy weekend too.
Yes, I did, Jodie. So on Saturday I had an amazing time at the Tinault Highland Games. It may have been a bit rainy, but that definitely did not put people off from coming out to the event. This was also the first time in the history of the Tinault Highland Games that they had a ladies' heavies category. To see more photos from the event, pick up a paper or go to the West Coast Today website to see a roundup video from the event, including interviews with the Ladies Heavies from the new category, Chieftain Douglas McCallum and other committee members.
Thanks, Megan. So pick up a copy of this week's OT or subscribe online at www.westcoasttoday.co.uk. That's it from us this week. Goodbye from me, Jodie Hagan.
Goodbye from me, Kathy Griffiths.
Goodbye from me, Owen Wild.
Goodbye from me, Sandy Neal.
And goodbye from me, Megan Day.
Bye.
Bye.